باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين شفيع المذنبين رحمة للعالمين مولانا وسيدنا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرض مولانا حجة ابن الحسن عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم صل على محمد ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد فقد قال الإمام علي an-Naqi عليه الصلاة والسلام اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد إن كانت لك حاجة فحرك شفتيك فإن الجواب يأتيك. Respected Maulana Sahib, my elders, brothers and sisters, tonight is the 6th night of our lecture series on yearning for Imam Zaman, and these lectures, as I keep saying, are for us to feel a sense of closeness with Imam, to remember him and to develop an attachment to him. When we discuss the characteristics of Imam Zaman, the first characteristic that we are mentioning is that he is alive. But his life is something very real and immediate. Here we're not talking about some kind of spirit, we're not talking about some kind of smoke around the world, we're not talking about some kind of other kind of being. No, we're talking about a real human being, a man, insan. Imam is physically alive, occupying this world. He walks, he says salam to people, he joins in their grief, he joins in their sadness. He has a special regard for mu'mineen. He is the protector of mu'mineen, he is the protector of this world. And the key thing is that once we understand this, then we should ask a question of ourselves. What role and how much of a role does Imam play in my life? How have I centered my life? Is my life centered around my work? Is it around my family? Is it around my hobbies, my interests, my sports? How am I centering my life? Is it centering around Imam Zaman? Is Imam Zaman the focal point and the center point of my life? This is the key question that we need to ask ourselves. You see, the thing is, because we have never lived in a time other than the ghaibat of Imam Zaman, we have never known anything else than the ghaibat of Imam Zaman. We've never lived in a time when Imam Zaman is in front of us. We get used to his absence. And we have gotten used to his absence because we've never known anything different. So hence what happens is complacency creeps in. We become complacent. We become complacent and careless. Imam Zaman no longer now occupies our thoughts and occupies our minds. Yes, definitely. You will say to me, yeah, but after namaz, we do say salam to Imam. Yes, for sure. And that is a brilliant thing to do. Once in a while, we do go to Samarra, inshallah. May Allah give everyone tawfiq and grace to go for the ziyarat of Aimma alayhimus salam. We do go to Samarra. We visit that Sardab-e-Muqaddas. We visit that place where Imam Zaman was last reported to have been. Yes, for sure. But these things are not so special. They're good. Don't stop doing them. Absolutely, we must do them. But they're not so special. The special thing is that you bring him into your life. You make a space for Imam Zaman in your life, metaphorically speaking. You revolve your life around Imam Zaman. That is the special thing. Saying salam from afar is very good, very important, we should do it, but it's not so special and it's not such a big thing that we're doing. The big thing is bring Imam Zaman into your life. If people remain complacent, if people do not feel the need for the Imam, if people do not feel the presence of the Imam in their lives, then when will this rescue happen? When will he come? When will he reappear? When will he do his zuhur? He needs people to feel his presence. So the thing is, bring him into your lives. In your school, bring him into your life. In your uni, bring him into your life. In your college, wherever you may be studying, bring him into your life. In your work, this one topic about how to bring Imam Zaman into our work, into our business, into our earnings, this itself is a series of majalis. Bring him into your business, put him immediately in front of you, put him in front of you and say to yourself, would I act in the same way? Bring him into your interactions, the way you act with people, the way you treat people, the way you speak to people. Bring him into those interactions. See how your life changes. See the effect in your life when you bring Imam Zaman into your life. Now, a narration to highlight what we are talking about from none other than the Lady of Islam, Janab Fatima, Salamullahi alayha. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. A man called Abu Amr narrates that on one occasion I saw the great lady, the daughter of the Holy Prophet. She came to the graveyard of Uhud. She was there to do the ziyarat of the qubur, the graves of the shuhada of Uhud. And I saw her. She was going to certain graves. On certain graves she was reciting Fatiha. On certain graves she was stopping and she would weep. So I waited until she finished all her visitation. And then I went to her and I said, if you don't mind, I have a question. She said, ask me. I said, tell me. I said, tell me one thing. Very clearly, very frankly, very clearly tell me. Did your father, the Holy Prophet, announce who is to come after him, who his successor should be or not? She said to me, I am surprised at your question. Were you not in Ghadir with so many thousands of people? My father lifted the hand of Ali alayhi salam and declared with no doubt, Man kuntu mawla. Were you not there? Can there be anything more clear and bigger than this? So he says, okay, in that case I want to ask you another question. He says, if that is the case, then فَمَا بَالُهُ قَعَدَ عَنْ حَقِّهِ. Then what is the problem? Why has he not risen and drawn a sword and taken over and fought people? Why? Why does it look like he's just sat down and he's taking what has come to him? People have taken the khilafat, these are my words now. People have taken the khilafat away from him. Why has he just sat down? Why is he not standing up, drawing his sword, making a stake and a claim for the khilafat? Now listen to her jawab. This jawab can only be given by Hazrat Fatima. This jawab can only be given by a ma'soom. She says, Mathalul Imam, Mathalul Kaaba. The example of the Imam is the example of the Kaaba. إِذْ تُؤْتَى وَلَا تَأْتِي. People have to go to it, not it has to go to the people. In Hajj, when you go for Hajj, what do? You have to make the effort, you have to take the trouble, you have to spend the money, you have to save up, you have to book the ticket, you have to travel, you have to walk, you have to drive, you have to do all the things. Kaaba is not going to come to you. She says the Imam is like this. Mathalul Imam, Mathalul Kaaba. The Imam is like the Kaaba. It has to be approached, not that it approaches other people. Azizane Girami, don't ever think Imam exists just to solve our petty everyday squabbles and disputes and our small needs. Definitely he will help. Definitely he helps in these. But that's not why he's there. That's not why we're becoming mustar for him as such. Imam is like the Kaaba. We have to go to him. We have to mold our lives around him. He's waiting for us. We think we are waiting for him, but actually he's waiting for us. We think that, for example, we are waiting, oh Imam, when are you going to come? As if it's a fixed date in the future. No, he is waiting for us to be prepared. One of the differences between prophethood and imamat is this only. See, prophethood is such, actually a message is given to a prophet, he is told then go to the people and give our message. Imam is a bit different. Imam is not, his task is not to go and force himself and fight and impose himself on people. His role is to lead society. But not that he is like a dictator, that he goes and takes things by force and he rules with an iron fist. We're going to come on to this in a couple of lectures' time, hopefully, about the rule of Imam Zaman, the style of Imam Zaman. What kind of ruler will he be? I'll tell you something. There is something wrong in some of our minds, and I'm not blaming anyone. Sometimes because of the way things have been presented, sometimes because of the things we heard in our childhood and in our youth, sometimes when you hear that the zuhur of Imam Zaman will happen, what image comes in your mind? You may have an image that, you know, when Imam Zaman comes, there's going to be, the streets are going to be lined with blood, and there'll be so many dead bodies, and there'll be so much killing, and there'll be so much khun rizi, there'll be so much spilling of blood. Absolutely not. Let me give you the whole picture in a couple of lectures' time, but that is a complete distorted picture. The picture is not that. You will see when we describe the mercy of Imam Zaman, how merciful and kind he will be, how forgiving he will be, you'll be amazed. And all of the Imams were like this. I was in Najaf a couple of years ago with a very dear friend of mine. May Allah bless him. He made a comment. This friend of mine was with me in Najaf. He made a comment. I don't know what prompted him. I guess, he would see some wrong practices. He would see, for example, the way people would speak to one another. He would see, for example, the way the shopkeepers were. Okay, innocently, and adil mati ek baat nahi kehri. He said, if Imam Ali was here today, I tell you, he would sort all these people out. I said, no, I don't agree. If Imam Ali was here today, you would have seen what a merciful father he would have been and how he would have explained to people in a nice way. Azizan Girami, what is our objective? When we do Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahi al Munkar, what is our objective? Hadith from Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Imam Sadiq says, Ahabbu ikhwani ilayya man ahda ilayya uyubi. My best brothers, my most beloved friends are those who present to me my faults as a gift. How do you give someone a gift? You don't force it down their throats, do you? You don't impose it. You don't throw it at them, do you? You're not rough and you're not like barbaric in when you give a gift. How do you give? Very nicely, humbly, you give a gift. He says, present the faults, for sure. Present the faults, yes, okay. In a very beautiful manner, with humility, with respect, with izzat, with honor. Keep the person's abaru, keep the person's honor, keep the person's dignity. Think how, when, where, how you will present this gift to the person. Definitely, Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahi Munkar has almost gone from our community. I was going to say this community, but I don't mean this Jamaat. I mean generally, Amr and Nahi has almost gone. Why? Because aaj koi ne kahin kewa tuj nathi. That's a problem. That's a massive problem. You can't say anything to anyone. But at the same time, when we do say, we have to say with a lot of honor and izzat. Keep the person's izzat, keep the person's honor. So, bringing Imam Zaman into our lives. Let's have a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma sallallahu. The idea behind these lectures is this only: to move us out of complacency, where Imam Zaman is just an afterthought, into the forefront of our minds. To bring him closer, to remember him, to bring him to the front of our minds. This is one of the objectives behind these lectures. So when we say bring him into your lives, what do we mean? Well, one thing you can do. Before anything, before you say anything, before you speak, before you do, etc., it takes time. It's not easy. It takes time to train yourself. But before you do anything, you say anything, you say to yourself one thing: my Imam is watching and listening. You say to yourself, my Imam is watching and listening. Do I really want to say this? Do I really want to do this? Is this the right way to do things? It takes time. It's not easy. It takes a long, long time. It takes training. Maybe the first time you try it, maybe for 1 or 2 minutes you'll be able to do that. Then you'll be tired. The next day it'll be 5 minutes. Then it'll turn into half an hour. Then 1 hour. Then more. You can build upon that. Let's have a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So we are looking to bring him into our lives. As we said yesterday, He gives us salam. He listens to our kalam. He listens to our speech. He walks amongst us. He is amongst us in that sense. Therefore, one of the very, very good things to do on a daily basis, if Imam Zaman is giving you salams, then when you wake up in the morning, you also start your day with Assalamu alayka ya sahib az-zaman. Salam to you, O my Imam. Salam to you, O Master of the time. First thing, as you wake up from your bed, for your namaz, for your shab, for your sub, whatever it may be, at the start of your day, remember your Imam, because your Imam is remembering you. Second, give sadaqah for him. Does he need our sadaqah? Of course not. But we need to give sadaqah for him. He doesn't need anything really from us. But we need to give sadaqah for him. Why? For our attachment to the holy Imam. Give sadaqah on his name, meaning, oh Allah, protect my beloved Imam today with this sadaqah. Protect him. And thirdly, a very beautiful supplication. Du'a-e ahad. Du'a-e ahad. Doesn't take long to recite. In Du'a-e ahad, why we say Du'a-e ahad? Because of many things, but this line in particular. We say, Allahumma inni ujaddidu lahu fi sabihati yawmi hadha. Oh Allah, I begin my day, this morning of mine, I'm starting my day with a renewal of my allegiance. If you're sharp and if your mind is there and if you're not on your phone, then you would have understood something very special in these verses. Ujaddidu means what? I do tajdeed. I renew. Not that I make my first pledge. Even if you've not recited this dua before in your life, you still say ujaddidu. I renew. I'm doing it again. I've done it once before. When did you do it? If you're reciting Dua Ahad for the first time, when did you do your pledge to Imam Zaman? This is the pledge we had all given in that time before we even came into this world. There was a pre-world time in which we had given our pledge to Imam Zaman. We had given our pledge to Amirul Mu'mineen. We had given our pledge to Hazrat Zahra. We had given our pledge to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. We are renewing that. Your Shias, how? Is it a fluke? Is it a fluke of biology? Is it a fluke of chromosomes? Is it a fluke of lineages? Is it a fluke of genes? Nothing is a fluke. We'll come on to this point later. Nothing is a fluke in this world. Nothing happens by luck. Nothing happens by fluke. Nothing happens by coincidence. Nothing. Every single thing in this world, in this alam, is a plan of the Almighty. Somehow, somewhere, it has a hisab and a kitab. You are Shias, how? This is the grace of Allah. You had done something. You had given your pledge, and now you are renewing your pledge. That's how you are where you are. And we want to, of course, improve and get better. So we say, O Imam, we are renewing our pledge to you. According to Ayatollah Bahjat, may Allah bless his soul and the souls of all our ulama. According to Ayatollah Bahjat, he says, what is the distance between your lips and your ears? Less than a span, less than a hand span. He says, when you utter something before it reaches your ear, which is a fraction of a second, when you utter something before it reaches your ear, it reaches the ears of Imam Zaman. It reaches the ears of Imam Zaman. Imagine. Now you keep him hazir and nazir, present and looking in your life. What change will happen? What kind of person will you be? What kind of interactions will you have? What kind of conversations will you have? How good will your namaz be? How good will your prayers be, your du'as be? What inspiration will come into your life? How will you prioritize your life? How will you structure your life? This is the power of Imam Zaman. This is the power of believing in this living, immediately living Imam. Someone comes to Imam Ali an-Naqi alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. I beg your pardon, he writes a letter. He writes a letter to the Imam. He says to the Imam, there are times when, just like I speak with my Lord and I have those special moments in conversation with Rabbul Alameen, there are times when I want to also speak with my Imam. This is to 10th Imam. But I'm far, for example, I can't access you. You are far away. It's going to take me many days to travel to you. But I want to speak to you. Now what do I do? Imam Ali an-Naqi replies, In kanat laka haja. Whenever you have any need, whenever you have any requirement to speak with us, faharrik shafatek, just move your lips, fa innal jawaba ya'atik, the answer will come. Just imagine, just move your lips. We are listening. We know what's going on. We know how you are. We know your news. We know what you're going through. We are with you. We have your back. We are supporting you. Do you think you could have been what you are today without us? Do you think you are where you are without us? Do you think your tawfiq which is coming to you can happen without us? So just move your lips and the jawab, the answer will come to you. Now let's shift a little bit onto a very critical question which comes. Inshallah, I'll do my best to answer it today and also tomorrow. Why must the Imam be alive? Why is that a must? Why can we not be like any old other sect or religion? And we say, no, it's okay, Imam can be born later. He can be born in the future. If today the zuhur is not happening, then Imam can be born later. What's the problem? He will come in the future. Let him be born and then he'll come. Why do we insist that no, the hujjat of Allah has to be present today? He has to be alive today. This is inshallah our challenge, and I'll try my best to answer it in the simplest way inshallah with a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. People make fun of this belief. People laugh at us. They say, you Shias, you've come up with something very strange. That for centuries and centuries you believe in a person that is alive. We, on the other hand, no, we don't believe he's alive. We say one day he will come, so what? What's the difference? Why do you have this ridiculous belief, Na'udhu Billah? Why do you have this silly belief that he has to be alive? No matter how many centuries go by, he has to be alive. Why, for example, you Shias have such a hadith as وَلَوْلَا ذَلِكَ لَسَاخَتِ الْأَرْضُ بِأَهْلِهَا? Why do you have these sayings from your imams that you hold on to, that, for example, if it was not for the hujjah to be present, لَسَاخَتِ الْأَرْضَ بِأَهْلِهَا, that the whole world would implode, collapse, destroy with everything on it? Why? The answer, partly today, partly tomorrow. The answer is this. We don't see the Imam as merely a political leader. We don't see the Imam as merely the president of the world. We don't see the Imam as merely some kind of presidential figure who will come and establish a government and have ministers and have policies. We don't see the Imam like that. Imam to us is not that only. That is one of his roles. Otherwise, majority of our Imams, by the way, they never had any political role as such. Active political role. Yes, Amirul Mu'mineen for 5 years, 4 and a bit. Imam Hassan alayhi salam for 6 months. Yes, they had a formal political role. The rest of the Imams did not have. They were not in positions of governorship, rulership as such. But still we believe in them and we respect them. Why? See, Imam-e-Zaman's role is not just to come to be a president of the world, that just politically he will make policies and he'll run the world, economy, economic kind of platforms, economic policies. No. If we think this is the Imam, then we've misunderstood the Imam. Imam is more than this. That is one of the roles of the Imam. The key thing regarding Imam is that he is the link between creator and creation. This is the thing. This is the thing about our A'imma alayhimus salam. They link between creator and creation. So we say to the Imam, you're not just a leader, you're Khalifatullah. You're not just a political personality, you're Hujjatullah. You're the proof of God, the vicegerent of God. In the Quran, for example, we have the story of the creation of Nabi Adam. وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. When your Lord said to the angels, I am going to make a viceroy, a vicegerent, a representative upon the earth. What was their immediate reaction? Bare ilaha, khudaya, why are you going to make a creature that will cause bloodshed and cause corruption? What does he reply? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inni a'lamu ma la ta'lamun. I know what you don't know. In other words, you don't know this Khalifatullah. You don't know Hujjatullah. This Khalifatullah is very special. I am making the aim of this whole creation, the aim of this whole exercise of creation, starting with Nabi Adam, I'm creating something that has the ability to manifest my attributes. You, the angels, you can't do it. You're not made in that way. I want something to be created that can represent me, be my Khalifa on this earth. He should have my attributes. He should embody my names. He should show my qualities in his own limited form. That's what I want to create. You won't understand Hujjatullah unless you understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we look at Allah, then we can understand Imam Zaman, because he's the manifestation of Allah. And when we look at Imam Zaman, we can understand Allah, because he reflects the qualities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, the Khalifatullah, the Hujjat of Allah, is the secret behind the creation, the objective of the creation. If he is not present, then the whole world collapses. Why? Because that is what Allah wanted. He wanted a system, He wanted a creation that would worship Him properly. In one of the ahadith, Hadith Qudsi, Allah says to our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wa sallam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Ya Ahmadu lawlaka lama khalaqtul aflaq. O Ahmad, O Muhammad, if it wasn't for you, I would not have created any of this creation. Think of it like this. There is a gardener. There are many gardens in this world, but this gardener is very, very particular. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. Then tomorrow we have 2 more arguments on this same point. At the moment, let's just stay with this. There's a gardener. There are many gardens in the world. But this gardener wants to rear and grow a very particular rare flower which is not found anywhere else. He wants this flower or this tree, this particular tree, this rare tree, to grow and to bloom and to flourish. Think about all the other things he has to do. He has to prepare the soil, the other grass, the hedges, the bushes, the other plants, the insects, dealing with the insects, dealing with other intruders, dealing with other things that are going to destroy this garden, the watering and the sunlight and everything. He puts so much effort. Why? Everything is to nurture this one particular fruit or tree or flower. Now, because of this one flower, and the aim being that one flower or that one tree, well, everything else benefits. The soil benefits. The nutrients benefit. The grass benefits. Everything else around it benefits. Because everything has to be in place for this one amazing flower or tree to flourish and bloom. Here, the Ahlul Bayt are like that unique, brilliant, rare flower. And through them we all get the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But because of them, because of that nurturing of that amazing creature, that amazing outcome of this beautiful garden. So here we have this concept that Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, Aimma alayhimus salam, are what we call in Farsi wasitaya faiz, the intermediaries or the channels of the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In other words, Allah wants to send something. How does He send? He sends it through them, because of them. Now this concept, inshallah, we'll explore more tomorrow with some other examples and other ways of looking at it. But bear this in mind. There is a goal of creation. There is a system of creation. There is a drive towards this system and this goal by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And people are of different abilities. And to gain the maximum you can from that divine source, you have to be closer to that divine source. And the further you are away from that divine source, the less you will be able to gain. But the closer you are, the more you'll be able to gain. Inshallah, if you have these thoughts in your mind, then tomorrow inshallah we can go into this in more depth inshallah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Azizan-e girami, azadaran of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, ghamkharan-e Sayyid al-Shuhada, matamdaran-e Abbas, Akbar, Qasim. When the Ahlul Bayt were taken from Karbala, the first thing that happened was, when the announcement was made that now the remaining family of Abu Abdullah should be brought, they had to walk through the Qatlagah, the Maqtal. Tonight's Masaib is dedicated to Janab Zainab. They had to walk through the Maqtal, they had to walk through the Qatlagah. As they are walking through the Qatlagah, Janab Zainab looks around. Where is her brother? Where is Abu Abdullah? Before this, what had they seen? She was standing on Tillaya Zainabiyya on the day of Ashura. She saw what had happened to Imam Hussain. She saw the brutality, the beheading. Then she witnessed the trampling of the body of Abu Abdullah. She witnessed the looting from the clothing and the rings of Abu Abdullah. Now it is 11th of Muharram. Now she is now walking through the Qatlagah. Now as she walks through the Maqtal, she sees a body. She looks closely. She looks closely again. She falls down at that body. When she falls at that body, she says one thing. A'anta akhi, a'anta al-Husayn. Is this what has become of you, O my brother? Is this really the body of my brother? Is this really my Hussein? Is this really the one my mother used to cuddle in her arms? Is this the one Rasulullah used to kiss? Is this the one that my father used to lift up on his shoulders? Is this my brother? Is this Hussein? She sits there, she cries out. Who does she salute? She salutes first of all Rasulullah himself. She starts to cry out, Wa Muhammadah, Wa Mustafa, O Holy Prophet of Islam, this is your Hussein, Murammalum bid-dima. He's covered with his blood. Only the thing that is sheltering him is the sand of Karbala. It has blown all over him. She recites these verses, she recites these words. Then she is told, stand up, we need to leave. As she gets up, she moves towards the animals. When she stops there, then she remembers another one of her brothers. At that point, she remembers another brother. She looks towards Furat. She remembers Abul Fadl al-Abbas. What does she say? She says, Akhi Abul Fadl, oh my brother Abul Fadl, you were the one when we wanted to leave Medina. You made us climb the camels. You made us sit in our carriages. You treated us with such honor, Abul Fadl. Fadl, where are you? Nadarat yaminan wa nadarat shimala. She looked towards the left, she looked towards the right. But Zainab, this is not that time anymore. Now there is no Abbas, there is no Hussein. You have to travel alone with Imam Sajjad alayhi salam. As she travels in the desert, she travels first to Kufa. The Masaib of Kufa were intense. She first has to present before Ibn Ziyad, the La'nati, the Mal'oon. Ibn Ziyad, he taunts her. He calls her a rhymer, a rhymist. He says, he has the audacity to say, she is a rhyming person, just like her father was a rhyming person. He then looks at Imam Sajjad. Imam Sajjad is in chains, standing there, chained and shackled. He says, who is this person? They say, this is Ali ibn al-Hussein. He says, no, we killed Ali ibn al-Hussein. The one that I knew as Ali ibn al-Hussein, we killed in Karbala. Imam Sajjad speaks. He says, you killed my brother Ali al-Akbar. I am the middle one. I am the middle Ali. Ibn Ziyad taunts again. He says, did your father not know any other name but Ali? He called you all Ali. Imam Sajjad replies, my father loved his father so much. He loved Amirul Mu'mineen so much that he would say, if Allah gave me 100 sons, I would name them all Ali. Ibn Ziyad is taken aback by the eloquence of Imam Sajjad, by the bravery of Bibi Zainab. He orders, he says, strike their necks. They should be beheaded. Strike his neck. He should be killed. Bibi Zainab steps forward. Now she is the protector of Imam Sajjad. She says, if you want to kill him, then you kill me. Kill this woman in front of you. Kill a woman. If that is your behaya'i, and if that is your lack of modesty and shame, then kill me. She says the life of Imam Sajjad. And then after the Kufa period ends, they make the journey to Sham. When Imam Sajjad was asked, Mawla, was it Karbala, was it Kufa, was it Sham? Which one was the worst? Imam Sajjad would reply, Ash-Sham, Ash-Sham, Ash-Sham. Nothing can compare to Sham. On the way to Sham, my final riwayat, on the way to Sham, Imam Sajjad reports that I would look at my auntie Zainab and I would see something very amazing. That when my auntie would pray, she would pray all her mustahab namazes sitting down, and she would pray all her wajib namazes sitting down. On one occasion I said to her, Auntie, why are you praying sitting down? She looked at me. She said, Sajjad, it is because the small amount of food which we are given every day, I give my share to the children. I give my share to the children of the Kafilah. I don't have strength. My body doesn't have strength that I stand and pray. Allah la'natullahi al-qawmi al-zalimeen. Mata mein Hussein.